We're back with Commander Chris Hadfield, who I just love one of the stories in his book, and it is called An Astronaut's Guide to Life. It's a wonderful read, cover to cover. It doesn't get deep into the minutia. It's good for civilians like me, like Mike, and for everybody. Great stories from the bee in your helmet to the snake on a plane.
That's right.
There's some great stories.
And even trying to get that guy's helmet off. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
my God. And then you went down with a screwdriver ultimately.
Trying to get Jim Halsell's helmet off was so funny. It was such an improbable and important moment. But there I was on top of his head with a screwdriver trying to pop his helmet off as we're entering the atmosphere.
So you see, it's all about being prepared, and that is one of the chapters in your book, which we hopefully will get into as well, is sweat the small stuff, which is against everything every self-help guru has said for the past 30 years. But sweating the small stuff, tell us why you learned Rocket Man for the Windsor Air Show. This is a great story.
So I fly airplanes for a living, and I have for a long time. I was going down to the Windsor Air Show to fly an airplane, and Elton John was playing in Windsor at the big stadium there that night. Fine. Well, he was going to fly in while I was there, and all the guys were going, "Hey, you got to go over and meet Elton John." So I'm thinking, Elton John's going to be busy, and he's doing his stuff. But I'm thinking, well, what if I do meet Elton John? He finds out I'm an astronaut. What's the next thing that might happen? Well, if he and an astronaut, if we hit it off, if he's got any interest in spaceflight, and, his husband's Canadian, maybe he does, I don't know. And so what would Elton John and I ever sing together? It's going to be Rocket Man. There's no choice. If I'm ever up on stage with Elton John, he's going to want to play Rocket Man. And so it's probably not going to happen. But if it does, I don't want to be the idiot astronaut who doesn't actually know how to play Rocket Man.
You see?
So let's take a few minutes and learn Rocket Man. Probably never going to happen, but just in case, my whole motto has always been sweat the small stuff. If you don't, then one of them's going to reach up and at least embarrass you if it doesn't kill you. So I've always tried to anticipate, be prepared, sweat the small stuff. And so I sat down and learned Rocket Man. And I never played it with Elton John. I had a nice long talk with him. I mean,
Really?
a really personable guy. We had a really nice chat, talked about things. And I ended up in the audience watching his performance and sitting there going, okay, it's a G and then an E minor and then an A, just in case he had me up on stage. But he never asked, and I'm happy that he never asked. But I know how to play Rocket Man.
Well,
so
would
it's
you
not
like
so
to
bad.
for Canada now? This is it. You get your chance now. I mean, we've all
play us a
heard you
little bit.
play in space, and this is an Epiphone. This isn't your Lativé. So let's hear a bit of it. Here is Commander Chris Hadfield, Rocket Man.
Raise a kid. In fact, it's cold as hell. Rocket Man. Rocket Man. We'll go to the chorus. 'Cause
All right, you
everybody
want
knows
some
the chorus.
backup?
You guys can say, oh yeah, please.
Sure.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. A rocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. You do a wonderful Elton John. Lovely.
Wow, there's a memory you'll never forget. Good girl. That was amazing.
Yeah, you and I singing together. And he was pretty good, too. Oh, Chris.
I just did bass. Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah.
Hey, that was amazing. All right, speaking of being prepared, the whole notion that up there somebody has to know how to do dentistry and surgery and plumbing. This is your favorite, because Mike can fix anything.
I can fix anything.
Right?
And I heard that you fixed the toilet, which, kids are interested in. How does the body work up there? And when things go wrong, what do you do then? So being prepared, you fixed the toilet. You had a problem.
I was sitting on the toilet. And
That's how all good stories start.
And it's a very loud toilet because we have to replace gravity with something, because gravity plays an important part in using a toilet. And we use airflow. Everything that comes out of your body is pulled into the toilet by airflow. So it's a little breezy, but it works okay. Well, I was sitting on the toilet doing what toilets are supposed to do, and suddenly the toilet went
Oh, no.
and got silent, which is not what you want to have happen. It'd be like if you were sitting on the toilet at home and suddenly somebody instantaneously turned off gravity.
Oh, yeah.
It would not be a good moment.
Right.
And so first I cleaned up the mess, and then I had to figure out what the problem was. But the Russians were doing a spacewalk that day as well, and Tom was busy with an experiment where he was like doing blood work, and he couldn't even remove himself from the experiment. So I was by myself with a toilet malfunction and I was the guy who had to get the Russians ready to go outside and do all the hatch closures and depressurize the airlock and stuff like that. And so I spent the day elbow deep in all of the plumbing of the toilet, replacing the whole main compressor separator, and then racing down to the other end, talking in Russian to the guys in board and the crew on down on Earth. And I was back and forth with my hands in a toilet and getting guys ready, sealing up a space suit. And it was about 3 hours long. For me, it was maybe the best day of my entire 5 months on space station, because it was relying on all the skills I learned: Russian language, plumbing, understanding the Russian space suit, seeing the big picture, and having to make everything work right. And after about 4 hours, they were safely outside on their spacewalk. Nothing had leaked. We'd done it right the first time. And I threw the switch on the toilet, and it went. It came up like a triumphant angel noise.
An angel saying.
It was much quieter than the toilet had been. So it was like, oh, well, no wonder the thing had failed. It was making this big rattly clatter beforehand. And now we've got a beautiful, nice, humming, quiet toilet. Wow. And I felt ridiculously proud of that day.
Well, remember, with this whole media thing you're doing for your book, An Astronaut's Guide to Life, nothing will be comparing to that one moment in space. Nothing can be that bad and that great. Isn't that wonderful?
It was it was a really nice position to be in, to be able
so to speak.
But to be able to have the skills to deal with an unexpected problem while life critical things are going on, and to just sort of do it as a matter of fact. Didn't have to ask anybody, just make it all work.
There's nobody to call.
It felt great.